Hey guys, welcome back into Mountain Dog Companion, hanging out here with Angie and Cleo's puppies. We got 4 of the girls here, and we're just going to talk about some differences with the puppies, talk about how they're doing, how they're coming along with socialization and stimulation and all sorts of stuff. I'm just kind of here helping Angie out as far as wrangling these little guys and girls. So I'll kind of let her do the talking here with each one as far as temperament and personalities and just differences here. So I'll let you kind of take it away, Angie.
Sounds good. This little one, actually larger one, this is Miss Mo. Miss Mo is one of the larger of the females. Actually, this is Margot right here, and she is the largest. But Mo has got a beautiful temperament. Very laid back, very mellow, still very engaging. Great markings on her, good strong blocky face. We have beside her Miss Sadie. Sadie's got similar markings. She has one white paw and one with the 3 colors on it. Sadie is mid-size. Actually, I believe that these two are really close in weight. I think it was 2.9 and a half and 2.9. So very close in size. She is a good build as well. Blockier face. Temperament's very similar. A little more assertive. Just a smidge more than Mo. Then I've got Miss Margot, who knows exactly when I walk in the room. And very, very aware of my presence. She's a beautiful lady. Yes, you are. The largest of the group. Last week she weighed 3.1. So they will get weighed tomorrow. And on my lap is Miss Sweet Bee. She is the tiny tot. She is so small. So I've got the largest and the smallest.
Huge
see the difference?
It's crazy.
She's just tiny. Tiny and mighty. She's the first one that crawled out of our little cart that we brought them outside in. Very takes care of Sweet Bee for sure. She weighed 2.1, I believe it was. So she's not so far behind. That was just yesterday, and they're gonna get weighed, so they'll be over 3. Just
it's crazy how the smallest one.
Yeah,
the smallest one always seems to be able to hold her own weight.
She does. She takes care of Sweet Bee. She does. She was actually one of my first ones to eliminate on her own, which surprised me. Because often the small ones you think will need a little more support, but she's definitely got it all under control.
Awesome.
So these are 4 of the girls. We have 7 total. There's 3 more that we'll talk about in a little bit. Now we have the next 3 girls. I have Miss Peppa. She does not have a collar. She's a solid black back. She doesn't have the white collar. But she's got beautiful markings down her legs. Great markings on her face. A nice, strong, blocky face as well. She is mid-size of the girls. So I believe she's right. The smallest of the girls besides Sweet Bee. So she's a little more on the petite side. But just a really nice little personality. She has a voice, and she greets me each morning, don't you? Just a really great little girl as well.
Awesome. Yep,
that's Miss Peppa.
Here.
Yep.
Awesome.
Next I have Kira. Kira is towards the upper end with Mo and Margot. She has a little Swiss kiss back here on her back. Great points on her tail. Beautiful markings on the front of her leg. And my favorite part is her little marking on her nose. So she's super easy to pick out of the litter.
Kind of separates herself.
Yeah, she's definitely marked and uniquely. She's just got a great personality as well. She is a little more laid back and a little bit more like Mo's personality. She's pretty easygoing.
Absolutely. Yep.
And the final female is Miss Clover.
Yep, she's over here.
Yep, she is tiny as well. So it's her and Peppa that are in the lower portion. I'm thinking Clover might actually be smaller than her. Again, marked very similar to Peppa. She's got a little bit of white across the top of her head.
Yeah, I noticed she's almost got a mohawk. Like it almost continues over the top.
And sometimes when it's white like that, it even accents it. Great looking little face. She's got a little bit shorter snout. Got great markings down her legs. Clover is much like Peppa. They're just a little more, assertive isn't the right word, just a little more
maybe interactive.
Interactive, yeah. Yeah, maybe just a little more, and they're not high energy, but just a little more energy. Not quite as laid back as Kira and Mo.
Cool. And we'll move on to the boys.
The boys are next.
Yeah. Okay, guys, moving on to the boys. There's 4 guys in this litter, and we're just hanging out here, so I'll kind of let Angie talk about these guys.
This is Mr. Roo. He carries the orange collar, and he has a full white collar all the way around his back. He is the largest male. Good and stocky, good blocky face.
You can definitely see that round
you can see
head.
the strong
It's
face, yeah.
Yeah.
Personality-wise, he's pretty mellow, but he has a little more energy than little Baxter here, or Rowan. So, but definitely in comparison to the females, like he's still more laid back than Peppa and Clover.
Okay.
Good looking fellas.
Yeah,
For sure.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude. This is little Baxter. He was sleeping, so we'll see if we can get him woken up here. He's got and always has had more curl coat from the time he was born. Or I guess you can't tell it quite that early, but as he matured, he's got quite lengthy white socks.
Looks like he's got the high socks rolling.
He's got high socks. There's probably a name for that, like high leggings or something like that. Anyhow.
I love how it transitions though in his like tuxedo up front.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
He's got a nice white,
so.
white lines. He's got a nice looking face as well, and he's just very, very easygoing. So this little dude is just a lover boy, and he's one of the smaller, fellas.
Yep. And all these guys have white tip tails. I didn't really say anything about that.
Yeah, the whole litter does. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
This is Bucky. Bucky has a solid black back. There were 2 females like that as well. He's got just small white socks with the rest transitioning down. Nice looking face. Still has a little bit of a pink and black nose, which could still transition. One thing to note about the whole litter is their father, Firestone, is known for his intensity. And so that intensity comes across in these rust points that are very vibrant. And I think I shared with Jay in the very beginning, like they came out vibrantly. That rust was just so bright.
I remember, like,
I
even on
mentioned it to you?
the first couple of days, it was like.
I was so taken back by it because it's often they're born and I'm not sure where the rust points are because they're not that visible, but they came out this way. So as they mature, these points are going to just stay very dominant.
They're definitely not going anywhere.
Yeah. So the puppies
guys.
in general are going to just be, as adults, are going to be very, very striking. Very striking.
Yeah.
And he has more of a mellow temperament, the father, so that's a great benefit. This is the last of our fellas. This is Mr. Rowan, medium-sized male. He's got beautiful legs, so he's got a high sock, and then he's got a left leg with a little more coloring. Again, good, strong, rounded head, stronger face. Temperament-wise, much like the others, pretty laid back. So, so far they're 5 weeks old. We started, today was the first day they've been outside, so we're going to start some mobility work, just with strengthening their legs. We're going to start with some more interactive items, so activity like toys that make sounds and move and all that kind of stuff. I also start teaching them to sit. An interesting fact about them so far is I introduced the pee pads at 2.5 weeks, which is slightly earlier than I normally do, and yesterday I had 100% success. 100%. They're not even 5 weeks old. So I was just telling Jay that I'm not certain if it's because I introduced it early or if it's because there's more in the litter. So generally, if you have regression where they're not being as successful, it's because their space is too large. So I think the litter size might have part of it, but I still think that some of it has to do with the introduction at that point. I mean, 100% success. You have no idea though how much cleaner they stay and how much less work for me, but yet alone how important that is in their training.
Especially like guys, after they get to you guys, like if you're getting one of these puppies, like that is a huge part. Like they realize they can't go potty just anywhere. So having a potty pad, training that early on is just, it's amazing.
And it's most of what I do, I like to say it's imprinting them. So I can't guarantee 100% success when they go home.
Oh,
right?
100%.
I mean, we have to still do extended training, but just to have those impressions early on, those imprints in their life with sound and everything that we do makes for amazing opportunity to have a great dog.
And the difference between like if you were not doing like the potty pad training, the huge difference between that when you're training like potty training later on in the puppy's life compared to actually doing it early on and getting them to go on a potty pad at this age, it just makes a world of difference.
And I train the potty pad for early training. I don't recommend that at home.
Oh, 100%.
Right. So some people are like, oh, I don't want to use it. Like they hear me talk about that and they're like, well, I don't want to do that in my home. No, I highly recommend. In fact, I can't say require, but to that point where it's outside only.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's
and
just
a great way
step.
to do that, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but is bringing a potty pad outside to start with, and then they'll start figuring out they can go outside, but just not inside. So,
Yep, setting them up for success.
Exactly.
One day at a time.
Literally. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you're looking for more content like this, feel free to subscribe down below. Let us know which puppy's your favorite in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys to see what you think of this litter from Cleo, and just really looking forward to it. So these guys are 5 weeks old. Everyone's doing great. Really looking forward to these pics here this weekend. So stay tuned. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.